Good morning, girls and boys. It's story time now. Have a sit down, get comfortable, switch your ears on, and we're doing all about gardening. And I'm going to talk about Wee Willie Watermelon. Who likes watermelon? Yes, we all like watermelon. We love watermelon. So exciting. So we're going to hear all about him. I don't know. This one lives in Scotland, in England. He's a Scottish one, and he wears a tartan hat. Look at that. Look at his tartan. This is tartan, all these squarey things. And it's a special Scottish hat that is on the watermelon. Right, are you ready? Wee Willie Watermelon lived in the beautiful Highlands of Scotland. That means up by the hills. He occupied a little cottage not far from the lakes, set amongst the sweet-scented heather. Heather is a plant. And a flower. It smells beautiful. As the smoke curled from his little chimney, Wee Willie looked on with pride. He was very proud of his little house that lived by the lake and in the mountains, and he was very chuffed with himself. The joy of his life was to wander the highlands, the hills, playing his bagpipes. Does anybody know what a bagpipe is? Look, if you look carefully, there's his bagpipes. They make a special noise, and they play, and you blow and you play, and it's all very fun. He used to wander around the mountains or the hills playing his bagpipes. His music would float over the hills and streams, and the only ones to hear it were the birds, the bees, and the butterflies, or any small animals who happened to be passing by. Here he is. Look, there's a little mouse there, and there's the butterflies. You've been listening in your garden for butterflies and bees, haven't you? One bright sunny morning, as Wee Willie was having his breakfast, a letter plopped through his letterbox onto the doormat. It was from his cousin, Paul Pumpkin, inviting him for a holiday down in the city. Wee Willie was rather thrilled because he had never been to a city before. Ooh. But there he is having his breakfast, and there's the letter going plop on the doormat, came through the door. The following morning, Wee Willie Watermelon packed a small suitcase and, carrying his precious bagpipes, caught the little number 9 bus, which ran once a day. When he arrived at the city, he could hardly believe his eyes. There we are, he's on the number 9 bus. There's his little suitcase up there. Can you see him in there? Riding the bus. There he is there. There with his little Scottish hat. He's going to go and see his cousin. There were flats, towering churches, shops, factories with long smoking chimneys, traffic which made constant noise, and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. Cousin Paul Pumpkin lived at the top of a very tall block of flats. What a view! Willie felt he was back home on the highest mountain with his head in the clouds. There he is in the city. Can you see him there? And there's lots of cars and lots of people. And look at all the buildings and the factories pumping out smoke. Oh my dear, oh dear, oh dear. Paul gave Willie tea because Willie was tired and hungry after his long journey. And then Paul gave him a piano recital. He played on his piano. All went well until the following morning. Willie couldn't go one day without playing his bagpipes. And at 6 o'clock in the morning, the practicing began. The neighbors opened windows to see who or what was making such a noise. Oh no, look at them all getting very upset with him. And he's playing his bagpipes up there, and they're all going, "It's too early, I want to sleep." No, you can't play bagpipes in the city, can you? But it wasn't until this had happened for several mornings that they began to complain. Wee Willie Watermelon was very sad. He couldn't enjoy life without playing his beloved bagpipes. Paul just couldn't bear to see Willie so sad. Willie looked miserably out the window with his bagpipes there beside him on the table. Oh, look at poor little Willie Watermelon is crying, and he's not allowed to play his favourite bagpipes. They do make a lot of noise. So Cousin Paul gathered all the neighbours together in the hope of solving the problem. They came up with a very bright idea of writing a letter to the mayor, asking if their friend, Wee Willie Watermelon, could use the bandstand in the city park to practice his pipes when it's not in use for band concerts. Now that's a good idea. Look, there's Peter Pumpkin writing the letter to the mayor. And then he won't upset anybody, will he? They all waited anxiously for a reply from the town hall. And when at last it arrived, giving permission for the bandstand to be used by Wee Willie Watermelon, was overjoyed. And the very next morning, as the birds started the dawn chorus, he set off for the city park, singing and skipping as he went. Oh, he's so happy now. Look at him. He's going to go and play his bagpipes in the park, and he's so excited. Being able to play in the park bandstand was not the only thing that pleased Willie. Because of all his practicing, Willie had become quite an expert, and this meant that people who wandered into the park could stop and hear him play. There's the park. There we go. Everybody now enjoyed Willie's music. They called and cheered, and he would stay much later on the bandstand than he ever intended because of the shouts of "More, more," and all the clapping and shouting for more. And the best thing, or so Willie thought, was that whether in the city or in his Highland home, there he is playing on the bandstand, and there's all the other vegetables and fruit saying "more, more," and clapping to their heart content. He was equally happy whether he was in the country or whether he was at home. Isn't that exciting? Hey, that's our story about Wee Willie. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I'm glad he was able to play his bagpipes in the park, and everybody loved to listen to him, didn't they? Right, children. I'll chat to you tomorrow. Have fun. Bye.